One day, you will wake up and realize that the life you wanted was never stolen from you. It was abandoned by the small promises you kept breaking to yourself. Not because you weren't talented, not because you weren't capable, but because every time things became difficult, you chose comfort over commitment. The truth is, your future is not built on motivation. It is built on what you do when nobody is watching, when nobody is clapping, and when you no longer feel inspired. If you cannot stay consistent for yourself, no one else can do it for you. Today is the day you stop waiting for motivation and start becoming someone you can trust. Motivation is one of the most misunderstood forces in the world. People wait for it as if it were a miracle, believing that one morning they will wake up feeling unstoppable, energized, and ready to conquer every goal they have ever dreamed of. But that morning rarely comes. The greatest mistake you can make is believing that successful people always feel motivated. They don't. The difference between ordinary people and extraordinary people is not that one group feels inspired every day. The difference is that one group has learned to move even when inspiration disappears. They understand a truth that changes everything. Motivation starts the journey, but discipline finishes it. Think about the athlete who trains before sunrise while the rest of the world is still asleep. Do you believe every workout feels exciting? Do you think every morning they jump out of bed with endless enthusiasm? Of course not. There are mornings when their body aches, when their mind begs them to stay under the blanket, when every excuse sounds reasonable, yet they get up anyway. Why? Because they stopped asking themselves, do I feel like doing this? Instead, they ask, who do I want to become? That single question changes everything. Imagine a builder constructing a skyscraper. He doesn't stop laying bricks because he doesn't feel inspired that day. He knows every brick matters, even if no one notices it. Your habits are those bricks. Every workout you complete, every page you read, every healthy meal you choose, every hour you spend improving yourself is another brick in the foundation of the person you are becoming. One brick may seem insignificant, but thousands of bricks create something that can stand for generations. Your future is being built by the decisions you make today, not by the emotions you feel today. Too many people become prisoners of their emotions. If they feel confident, they work. If they feel tired, they quit. If they feel discouraged, they stop. But feelings are like the weather. They change constantly. You cannot build your future on something that changes every hour. Discipline is different. Discipline says, I made a commitment, and I will honor it, regardless of how I feel. That is where true freedom begins. Because when you no longer depend on motivation, you become unstoppable. You stop negotiating with your excuses. You stop waiting for the perfect mood. You simply do what needs to be done. Look at the people who achieve greatness in any field. Business leaders, Olympic champions, artists, musicians, monks, entrepreneurs, they all have one thing in common. They mastered consistency long before they mastered success. They repeated the boring tasks. They embraced the ordinary days. They showed up when nobody was watching, when there were no rewards, no applause, and no guarantees. Success wasn't created in the spotlight. It was created in the quiet moments when quitting would have been easier. The uncomfortable truth is that your excuses don't care about your dreams. Every excuse you accept silently steals a piece of your future. I'll start tomorrow. I'm too tired. Just this once. Those words seem harmless, but repeated often enough, they become the story of an unrealized life. One day turns into 1 week. 1 week becomes 1 year. Before you know it, you are standing in front of a life that could have been different if only you had learned to act instead of waiting to feel ready. From this moment forward, stop chasing motivation. Stop waiting for a magical feeling that may never arrive. Build routines that carry you when emotions fail. Train your mind to take action even when comfort calls your name. Every time you choose discipline over excuses, you become stronger than the person you were yesterday. Every time you keep going despite resistance, you prove to yourself that your dreams matter more than your temporary feelings. And eventually, something incredible happens. Discipline stops feeling like a burden and becomes part of your identity. You are no longer someone who waits to feel motivated. You become someone who keeps their word, honors their commitments, and shows up no matter what. That is the person who changes their life. That is the person who stays consistent for themselves. And that is the person no obstacle can ever truly defeat. One of the deepest wounds a person can carry is not the disappointment of others. It is the disappointment they feel in themselves. Every time you tell yourself, I'll wake up early tomorrow, and then hit the snooze button, you break a promise. Every time you say, I'll start exercising on Monday, but let another week slip away, you break a promise. Every time you promise to study, to save money, to quit a bad habit, or to take one step toward your dream, yet choose comfort instead, something invisible happens. Your self-confidence doesn't disappear overnight. It erodes quietly, one broken promise at a time. Eventually, the voice inside your head stops believing you. You begin to doubt your own words, because your actions have taught your mind that your commitments don't mean anything. And that is one of the most dangerous places a person can be. But here's the beautiful truth. The opposite is also true. Every promise you keep to yourself rebuilds your identity. Every small commitment you honor becomes evidence that you are someone who can be trusted. Confidence is not something you buy. It is not something another person gives you. Confidence is earned through repeated acts of integrity with yourself. It grows every single time you do what you said you were going to do, especially when no one is watching. Imagine a close friend who constantly makes promises and never keeps them. They promise to show up but cancel at the last minute. They promise to help but disappear when you need them. Eventually, you stop relying on them. Now, ask yourself a painful question. Have you become that unreliable friend to yourself? Have you made so many empty promises that your own mind no longer believes your words? If the answer is yes, don't feel defeated. Feel awakened. Because today, you have the chance to rebuild that trust, one action at a time. Think about a mountain climber standing at the base of a massive peak. They don't reach the summit with one giant leap. They earn every step. Some days the weather is cold. Some days the trail is steep. Some days they feel exhausted. But every step forward becomes proof that they are capable of climbing higher. Your life works the same way. Every promise you keep is another step toward becoming the person you dream of being. It may seem small in the moment, but small victories accumulate into unstoppable momentum. There will be days when your mind whispers that missing one workout doesn't matter, skipping one chapter won't hurt, or delaying your goals until tomorrow is harmless. Be careful with those whispers. They sound gentle, but they carry the power to steal years from your life. Success is rarely destroyed by one massive mistake. It is usually destroyed by hundreds of tiny compromises that slowly become habits. Every time you choose convenience over commitment, you teach yourself that your comfort is more important than your future. Instead, become the kind of person whose word carries weight, even when that word is spoken only one. To yourself. If you promise to wake up at 6, wake up at 6. If you promise to read 10 pages, read 10 pages. If you promise to take a walk, take the walk. The size of the promise is not what matters. What matters is that you keep it. Even if the promise seems small, the message you send to your mind is enormous. You are telling yourself, I can trust me. My word has value. I do what I say. Look at the people who inspire the world. They didn't become extraordinary because they were fearless or naturally gifted. They became extraordinary because they developed an unshakable relationship with themselves. That they stopped making excuses. They stopped negotiating with their commitments. They became dependable, not just for their families, their teams, or their communities, but for their own hearts. That inner trust became the foundation for everything else they achieved. So starting today, make fewer promises, but keep every single one. Don't promise perfection. Promise consistency. Don't promise giant leaps. Promise one honest step forward every day. Your future self is listening to every commitment you make. Every action is either strengthening your character or weakening it. Every decision is casting a vote for the person you are becoming. Keep showing up. Keep honoring your word. Keep proving to yourself that you are someone worth believing in. Because the moment you begin keeping the promises you make to yourself is the moment your confidence returns, your discipline grows stronger, and your entire life begins to change from the inside out. Most people spend their lives waiting for one big breakthrough. They believe success will arrive in a single dramatic moment, a promotion that changes everything, a viral video, a life-changing opportunity, or one perfect decision that suddenly transforms their future. But life doesn't work that way. Greatness is almost never born in one extraordinary moment. It is created in thousands of ordinary moments that most people overlook. The smallest actions, repeated consistently, become the foundation of an extraordinary life. That is why you must learn to value small daily wins, because they are never as small as they seem. Imagine planting a seed in the ground. You water it today, and nothing happens. You water it tomorrow, and still nothing changes. A week passes, and the soil looks exactly the same. If you judged your progress only by what you could see, you would probably stop watering the seed. But beneath the surface, something incredible is happening. Roots are spreading. Strength is developing. Life is forming in complete silence. Then one day, the seed breaks through the earth, and everyone notices the tree. What they don't see are the countless days of invisible growth that made that moment possible. Your journey is no different. Every small action you take is strengthening roots that the world cannot yet see. Too many people quit because they mistake slow progress for failure. They go to the gym for 1 week and expect a new body. They study for a few days and expect mastery. They start a business and expect instant success. When the results don't come quickly, disappointment convinces them to stop. But the people who achieve remarkable things understand a powerful truth. Progress is often invisible before it becomes undeniable. They don't chase immediate rewards. They trust the process, knowing that every small effort is an investment in a future they cannot yet see. Think about a master sculptor standing before a massive block of stone. With every strike of the hammer, it appears that very little changes. One hit doesn't create a masterpiece. Neither do 10. But after thousands of precise strikes, a breathtaking sculpture begins to emerge. Was it the final strike that created it? No. It was every single strike that came before it. Your daily habits work exactly the same way. Every page you read, every workout you complete, every healthy choice you make, every hour you spend learning a new skill is another strike shaping the masterpiece of your life. The problem is that our minds are addicted to dramatic results. We celebrate giant achievements while ignoring the quiet discipline that produces them. But champions don't think like that. They understand that every day offers an opportunity to win. Maybe today's victory is simply getting out of bed when you wanted to stay asleep. Maybe it's choosing water instead of soda, reading 10 pages instead of scrolling endlessly, or spending 30 focused minutes on a dream instead of wasting hours on distractions. To the outside world, these actions may seem insignificant, but to your future self, they are priceless. Look at the greatest athletes, musicians, entrepreneurs, and leaders in history. Their success wasn't built on occasional bursts of excellence. It was built on relentless consistency. Long before they stood on stages, accepted awards, or inspired millions, they mastered the art of showing up every single day. They practiced when nobody applauded. They improved when nobody noticed. They embraced routines that others called boring because they understood that boring, repeated often enough, becomes extraordinary. There will be days when your progress feels painfully slow. You'll wonder if your efforts are making any difference. Those are the days that matter most. Because character is not built when everything is exciting. Character is built when you choose to continue despite the absence of visible results. Every small victory is proof that you are becoming stronger, more disciplined, and more resilient than yesterday. And once those victories begin to stack upon one another, momentum takes over. What once felt impossible starts feeling natural. So stop underestimating the power of today. Don't wait for the perfect opportunity to change your life. Don't believe that only massive achievements deserve celebration. Honor every step forward, no matter how small it appears. One disciplined morning becomes one productive day. One productive day becomes one successful week. One successful week becomes one transformative year. And one transformative year can completely rewrite the story of your life. Remember this, whenever you feel discouraged. Mountains are climbed one step at a time. Books are written one page at a time. And powerful lives are built one decision at a time. Stay faithful to the little things. Protect your daily habits. Celebrate your small wins. Because those quiet victories, repeated over weeks, months, and years, are what separate those who merely dream about success from those who actually live it. If you want to stay consistent, you must change the way you look at discomfort. Most people spend their entire lives trying to avoid it. They run from difficult conversations, challenging workouts, early mornings, rejection, failure, and uncertainty. They believe that a good life is a comfortable life. But comfort has never built greatness. Comfort has never created champions. Comfort has never transformed an ordinary person into someone extraordinary. Growth begins the moment comfort ends. The life you dream about is waiting on the other side of the very discomfort you keep trying to escape. Think about a blacksmith forging a sword. He doesn't create strength by protecting the metal from heat. He places it into the hottest fire, then strikes it over and over again with relentless force. To the metal, the fire feels destructive. The hammer feels painful. But the blacksmith knows something the metal cannot see. Every moment of pressure is shaping it into something stronger, sharper, and far more valuable than it was before. Your struggles work exactly the same way. Every challenge you face is not designed to break you. It is designed to forge you into the person your future requires. The problem is that your mind is wired to seek safety. The moment something feels uncomfortable, it whispers, "Stop. Rest. This is too hard. Maybe tomorrow." Those whispers sound harmless, but they are dangerous because they keep you trapped in the same place year after year. Imagine if a butterfly decided that breaking out of its cocoon was too painful. It would remain safe inside for a little while longer, but it would never discover its wings. The struggle to escape isn't an obstacle to becoming a butterfly. It is the very process that makes flight possible. In the same way, the resistance you feel is not preventing your transformation. It is creating it. Look at every remarkable achievement in human history. Every Olympic gold medal was earned through exhausting training sessions. Every successful business survived moments when failure seemed inevitable. Every great artist created masterpieces only after countless imperfect attempts. Behind every inspiring story is someone who refused to let discomfort decide their destiny. They understood that pain is temporary, but regret has a way of lasting a lifetime. Imagine waking up before sunrise, when your bed feels warm and your body begs for more sleep. At that moment, you stand at a crossroads. One path leads back to comfort. The other leads toward growth. The difference between the life you have and the life you want is often decided in moments exactly like this. It isn't the giant decisions that shape your future. It is your response to these quiet battles that nobody else sees. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you become stronger. Every time you embrace difficulty instead of avoiding it, you expand your capacity to handle life's challenges. There will be seasons when consistency feels incredibly difficult. You will be tired. You will be discouraged. You may even question whether your efforts are worth it. But remember this. The strongest trees are not the ones that grew in perfect weather. They are the ones that survived powerful storms. The resistance they faced forced their roots to grow deeper. Without the storms, they would never have become strong enough to stand tall. Your hardships are strengthening roots that success alone never could. One of the greatest lies people believe is that life will eventually become easy. It won't. Every new level brings a new challenge. The student becomes the employee. The employee becomes the leader. The leader carries greater responsibility. Problems never disappear. They simply change form. That is why your goal should never be to eliminate discomfort. Your goal should be to become the kind of person who can face it with courage, confidence, and unwavering determination. The beautiful thing about embracing discomfort is that it changes your identity. At first, difficult tasks feel impossible. Then they become manageable. Eventually, they become normal. The workout that once exhausted you becomes your warm-up. The presentation that once terrified you becomes another opportunity. The challenge that once made you doubt yourself becomes proof of how far you've come. You don't become fearless because fear disappears. You become fearless because you stop letting fear control your actions. So stop asking, how can I make this easier? Start asking, how can this make me stronger? Every obstacle carries a lesson. Every setback carries an opportunity. Every uncomfortable moment is inviting you to grow into someone wiser, tougher, and more resilient. Embrace the early mornings. Embrace the hard work. Embrace the failures that teach you more than success ever could. Because the moment you stop running from discomfort and start welcoming it as your greatest teacher is the moment consistency stops feeling like a struggle and starts becoming your way of life. And when that happens, there is no limit to the person you can become. One of the fastest ways to destroy your consistency is to constantly compare your journey with someone else's. In today's world, you can wake up, pick up your phone, and within minutes convince yourself that everyone else is ahead of you. You see people celebrating success, buying new homes, building businesses, traveling the world, winning awards, transforming their bodies, and achieving goals that you are still struggling to reach. Slowly, without realizing it, comparison begins to poison your mind. It whispers that you are too late. It tells you that you are not talented enough, not smart enough, not successful enough. And the most dangerous part is this. Once you believe those lies, you stop trying. You stop showing up. You stop being consistent because you become obsessed with someone else's race instead of your own. But listen carefully. Someone else's progress has absolutely nothing to do with your potential. Just because another person reaches their destination before you does not mean you are moving in the wrong direction. Every life has a different timeline. Every person carries different responsibilities, different struggles, different opportunities, and different lessons. Comparing your chapter 3 to someone else's chapter 20 is not only unfair, it is completely meaningless. Imagine two trees planted on the same day. One grows quickly, reaching toward the sky within a few years. The other seems to grow slowly, almost as if nothing is happening. If you judged them only by what you could see above the ground, you would believe the second tree was failing. But beneath the surface, its roots are spreading deeper and wider, preparing it to withstand storms that would uproot the first tree. Years later, that slower-growing tree becomes stronger, taller, and more resilient because it invested time where no one could see. Your life works exactly the same way. Just because your progress isn't obvious today doesn't mean you aren't becoming someone extraordinary. History is filled with people who succeeded later than everyone expected. Some discovered their purpose after years of failure. Others faced rejection after rejection before finally finding the opportunity that changed everything. If they had measured their worth by someone else's timeline, they would have quit long before success ever arrived. Their breakthrough came because they remained faithful to their own path, even when the world gave them every reason to doubt it. The truth is, comparison steals your attention from the one thing that actually matters, your own growth. Every minute you spend wondering why someone else is moving faster is a minute you are not, investing in becoming better yourself. Imagine running a marathon while constantly turning your head to watch every other runner. Eventually, you lose focus, you lose balance, you waste energy, you may even stumble. The runners who cross the finish line are not the ones staring at everyone else. They are the ones who keep their eyes fixed on the road in front of them. Your greatest competition has never been another person. It is the version of you that existed yesterday. Did you become a little stronger today? Did you learn something new? Did you keep your promises? Did you take one more step toward your dream? Those are the only questions that matter. Because real success is not about defeating others. It is about refusing to let your old habits, your old fears, and your old excuses continue controlling your future. There will always be someone richer than you, someone faster, someone more experienced, someone who seems to have everything figured out. But there will also always be someone who wishes they had your opportunities, your strengths, or your courage to begin. Life is not designed to be a competition with everyone around you. It is designed to reveal the best version of the unique person you were created to become. When you stop comparing yourself, something powerful happens. Peace replaces anxiety. Gratitude replaces envy. Confidence replaces insecurity. You begin celebrating your own progress instead of criticizing it. You recognize that every small improvement deserves respect because it is moving you closer to your own purpose. You stop chasing approval and start chasing excellence. And that shift changes everything. So from this day forward, protect your focus like it is your greatest treasure. Celebrate the victories of others without allowing them to define your worth. Let their success inspire you, not intimidate you. Keep your eyes on your own path, your own mission, and your own daily actions. Because consistency is impossible when your attention is divided. But when you commit to becoming just 1% better than yesterday, day after day, week after week, and year after year, you will eventually look back and realize something incredible. You didn't need to become someone else to build an extraordinary life. You only needed to become the very best version of yourself. And that journey begins the moment you stop looking sideways and start moving forward with unwavering faith in your own path. At the end of the day, consistency is not about never falling. It is about refusing to stay on the ground. Too many people believe they have failed simply because they missed one workout, skipped one morning routine, made one mistake, or had one bad week. They think perfection is the goal, and the moment perfection disappears, they convince themselves that the journey is over. But that is not how champions are made. Champions are not the people who never fail. They are the people who never allow failure to become their identity. They understand that setbacks are not stop signs. They are stepping stones. They know that every fall carries a lesson, every mistake carries wisdom, and every comeback builds a stronger version of themselves. Imagine a child learning to walk. No parent expects that child to stand up once and never fall again. The child stumbles. They lose balance. They fall to the floor over and over again. Yet something remarkable happens. They don't sit there thinking, maybe walking isn't for me. They don't compare themselves to other children. They don't give up because they failed 10 times. They stand back up, again and again. Every fall teaches them something. Every attempt strengthens their legs. Eventually, what once seemed impossible becomes natural. Now imagine if that child had quit after the first fall. They would never have discovered what they were capable of. In many ways, adulthood is no different. The only difference is that somewhere along the way, we become afraid of failing. We begin treating mistakes as proof that we are not good enough, instead of recognizing them as part of the process. Look at the lives of the people who changed the world. Their stories are not stories of uninterrupted success. They are stories of resilience. They faced rejection, criticism, financial hardship, disappointment, and moments when quitting seemed like the easiest choice. Many businesses that are successful today were built after failed attempts. Many athletes who now stand on podiums once lost important competitions. Many great speakers once struggled with fear. Many best-selling authors collected rejection letters before anyone believed in their work. What separates them from everyone else is not that life was easier for them. It is that they refused to let temporary defeat become permanent surrender. There will be days when you lose your rhythm, days when you oversleep, miss your goals, or feel completely drained. Those moments do not define you. What defines you is the decision you make next. Do you let one mistake become an excuse to abandon everything? Or do you take responsibility, learn from it, and continue moving forward. One missed day is a moment. Quitting turns that moment into a lifestyle. Never confuse a stumble with the end of the journey. Think of a river flowing toward the ocean. Along its path, it encounters rocks, fallen trees, steep cliffs, and unexpected obstacles. Yet the river never announces that its journey is over. It simply finds another way. It flows around the obstacle. It keeps moving. Day after day, year after year, that steady persistence becomes powerful enough to carve valleys through solid rock. The river is not strong because it is aggressive. It is strong because it never stops flowing. That is the kind of consistency you must build within yourself. The person you are becoming is not created on your best days. They are created on the days when everything feels difficult and you choose not to quit. Anyone can keep going when life is easy. Anyone can stay committed when they are winning. But the strongest people are revealed when life becomes uncomfortable, when progress feels invisible, and when doubt fills their minds. In those moments, they remember why they started. They remember the promises they made to themselves. They remember that every comeback strengthens their character far more than any easy victory ever could. Stop chasing perfection, because perfection is an illusion. Chase persistence instead. If you fall, get back up. If you fail, learn the lesson. If you lose momentum, rebuild it. Your future does not require flawless execution. It requires relentless determination. Every sunrise gives you another opportunity to begin again. Every new day offers another chance to become stronger than the person you were yesterday. One day, people will look at your success and assume the journey was easy. They will see the confidence, the discipline, the achievements, and the strength you carry. What they won't see are the mornings you wanted to quit, the nights you questioned yourself, the failures that humbled you, and the countless times you chose to stand back up when no one would have blamed you for walking away. That is where greatness is born. Not in never falling, but in never surrendering. So make this your identity. Become the person who always returns. The person who refuses to let one bad day become a bad life. The person who understands that consistency is measure,